Two, one, and welcome to another episode of the Hood Grace Podcast. It's your boy, Reverend Rudy Rubio of the Reformed Church of Los Angeles in the city of Linwood, with my good friend, my homie, my co-laborer in ministry, Pastor Brandon Cash, and I'll let him introduce himself to you. And whatever he says, I promise you he's going to be more humble, so I'll come by and brag on him a little bit afterwards. But Brandon, can you please introduce yourself to those people watching now and that will be listening later on?
Yeah, so my name's Brandon Cash. I am a pastor, been a pastor at the same church since 1998 when I graduated from seminary, Talbot Seminary.
Okay, shout out to Talbot Seminary.
That's right. I mean, there are other schools, but I don't know that they're that's good.
He's talking about California, right? You're not talking
Yes.
about Michigan or St. Louis or anything.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, but feel grateful and blessed to be there. I've got a wife. We've been married 22 years. It'll be 23 years this year. 4 kids. My oldest is a senior in college, a freshman in college, 10th grade and 6th grade. And 3 girls and 1 boy. And so that's kind of...
Tell us about your church, man.
Yeah, so we are located real close to LAX. If you come out of LAX and head south, we're just about 5 minutes down the road there. And
is it a problem with all the overhead traffic with the airplanes or just like the...
Actually, we're a little bit far enough south that we're not in the flight path.
In the direct... Okay, yeah. Cool.
So a lot of our people live in the flight path, but we're actually, as far as the church...
Yeah.
Well, it's funny, we actually have the metro rail.
Oh, okay.
Runs right next to our building.
Uh-huh.
And so you do hear the shh.
Yeah,
And it's the metro rail.
Let me tell you our bad news. My church is literally across the street from the 105 freeway.
Oh, yeah. So you get a little...
So directly, the flight path directly over. And, down the 105 freeway, you get the train.
Yeah.
So we get it all. We get the freeway, the train, and the overhead pass from the airport.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So how long... You're a church planter?
Our church was planted a little before I got there.
Oh, okay.
And then the guy who planted the church stepped down.
Mm-hmm.
His wife left him, kind of went through a divorce, and so he stepped down, and that's when I came in.
Awesome. And that was how many years ago now?
1998.
Wow, 1988. So 22 years ago.
Yeah.
You don't look 22 years in ministry already. You don't have enough gray hair. You
Look
still
at
have
the
hair.
hairline. I don't have hair. That's the problem.
You still have hair. I'm 2.5 years into a church, but I have no hair. And all the gray, I had to trim my beard down actually because it was so gray. My goodness. So you went to Talbot. You're at this church, been there 22 years. It's grown. You were telling me some stories a little while ago at dinner and some of the just great and amazing things God has done for you guys. What else do you do besides pastor a church? Not that it's insignificant. You need to do other stuff, but we're some crazy individuals that we just throw more stuff on our plate.
Yeah, so I'm also a professor at Talbot School of Theology at Biola University.
Now it's all coming together. He was talking about Talbot, and now he's a professor at Talbot. Okay, what do you teach at Talbot?
I teach hermeneutics and preaching.
Hermeneutics. I never heard of him.
Yeah, it's
a Joel Osteen name.
Yeah.
Hermeneutics. Never heard of him.
Yeah, the easy way to remember is just Hermes was the messenger god, and so we're looking for the meaning or the message of Scripture. Awesome. The interpretation is the hermeneutics, and then preaching. So it's great because everybody has to take hermeneutics like their first year of seminary.
Yeah.
And so you get people at the front end, and then they can't take the preaching classes until after they've taken their languages.
Okay.
And so that's one of the last classes they take, and so I get these students at the front end and the back end, and that's a lot of fun.
And the languages, you're not talking about Spanish, yo. No Spanish, right? No Spanish. Do you see students struggling with the languages?
Yeah. To be honest, I used to direct an undergrad program where students they were Bible majors, and they could, during their 4th year, during their senior year at Biola, they could become Talbot students as well.
Okay.
And then
they'd be doing both?
Yes, during their senior year, awesome. And then they could graduate in 5 years with their seminary degree.
Oh, okay.
But in order to do that accelerated program, you had to take your languages pretty early on, and you had to get a B or better. So if you got a B minus, it wouldn't count.
Oh, wow.
And so unfortunately, we did have students who had to drop out because they weren't able to keep the Bs. Now, thankfully, we're doing some things to help with some other tracks, for that. Languages aren't everybody's thing.
And not everybody needs an MDiv that's going to be in ministry either.
No, not at all. In fact, there's a lot we could talk about that.
Okay.
I mean,
cool.
well,
No,
if you, so I think the qualifications for, I mean, we'll start pastoral ministry. I think it's all Christian leadership.
Yeah.
Is character is number one.
Stuff you just can't learn in a book.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then biblical theological knowledge, which doesn't have to happen in a classroom.
Yeah.
In fact, a lot of people are not the kind of learners where they flourish in the classroom.
Yeah.
And it's more, on the job, I got to know this. And so
Yeah.
then they look it up while they're on the job.
Got you.
Good mentors in their life. And then the third would be the gifting,
Yeah.
how God has wired us. But yeah, that first one, that character, that's not measured in a classroom.
Right now, when you were talking about having a B average, I remember I got so upset in the seminary because I had like a 93, and that's an A minus.
Yeah.
I was like, no, that's a solid A. It's like you had to have like, I think 95, 96, 97 for it to be an A. Because it went down to like 93 or 90.
No, I think it might even be
maybe a little bit higher.
96 to 100 is an A.
95?
95 is an A minus,
Yeah,
and 93 is a B plus.
That's cold-blooded, man. That's
Yeah.
I was like, that's not fair. That's not fair.
So we're raising cold-blooded assassin pastors.
Man, bro. Speaking of the hood, shout out to Jesse from Compton. He's a member of our church. He's in Compton right now. He's a shout out from the CPT. What's up, Jesse? Glad you could check in. Marie Galapon, she is currently, I believe, in Michigan. Her daughter just graduated from the Navy.
Oh, that's
awesome.
awesome.
No, wait. She's graduating tomorrow, Marie, I think. She's graduating from the day she left for basic training. We prayed for our church. It was beautiful. Her mom just like lost it, Her little daughter.
Yeah.
Her baby's going to the military,
So is she graduating from basic training?
Basic training.
Okay.
I think from there she's gonna get shipped out to Florida somewhere.
Yeah.
But it was cool because our pastoral care teams, our congregational care, they wrote her a ton of notes and thank you letters and our kids ministry and our youth. So they're gonna like just bombard her when her mom gets to Florida.
Yeah.
Oops! I hope I didn't let the cat out of the bag, Marie. I'm sorry if Lamai sees this before. Beautiful Filipino family that we love.
So much respect for people who serve that way.
Yeah, man, and for the parents that just like go,
Yeah.
But yeah, amazing family. We're grateful for them. So you were a full-time pastor. You started teaching at Talbot, and what else do you do?
Well, I do something with you. Yes.
Please feel free to tell our
Yes,
friends.
I get to be the chaplain for the Dodgers. And since I can't preach to the Spanish players, you got to come in and do a great job with the Spanish
You guys must have been really hurting to get me. They were like in dire need. Like, we'll just take anybody. Anybody speaks Spanish, come on in. No, it's been a huge honor for me. I only came in the last end of this past season, right? But in just that short amount of time, learned so much from you, and to see the respect and the admiration that the players have for you, that's huge, bro. You can't learn that in a book. That's just you either have it or you don't, And when you do, you polish it off. And
I think when we're just ourselves, in all of life, whether you're a pastor or a friend or a parent, and people see that and I think they respect that, and especially with these professional athletes, so many people want something from them. They want to be in their life just to say they know them, and so I think there's always that fear that somebody wants something. There's an angle there. And when we're able to come in and just kind of, be there to serve these guys and to help them in their walk with Christ. I think over the years they appreciate that.
That's awesome. So I know it'll take me a ton of time before I'm able to get somewhere. But people ask me, friends, like, hey, can you get some tickets? I'm like, no. Hey, but I'm like, look, you haven't seen me take one picture, not selfie, like nothing. Because why? I don't ever want them to think that I'm there with my hand out. I don't ever want them to think that I'm there for something else. Like, I just want to teach them about Jesus.
And I think a lot of people have experienced what you're talking about when you have that friend, maybe from high school or, the old neighborhood, haven't heard from him in 20 years, and they reach out to you.
All of a sudden.
But not just for you, but somebody is selling something, a pyramid scheme. And it's like, hey, let's go to lunch. And you think they just want to get together for lunch. And you go to lunch and they want to sell you something or get you on board with something. It's like nobody likes that.
And I've had that happen to me a couple of times. And it does. It's an ugly feeling. It's like, oh, you didn't care about me. You just like wanted to get your way with whatever it is, like you said. Awesome. So how long have you been doing this chaplaincy with the Dodgers now?
This will be my 10th year.
Wow, 10 years.
So, yeah, we were talking earlier. I had my first 5 years, Don Mattingly was the manager, and then this will be my 5th year with Dave Roberts. And just couldn't ask for two better guys to serve under in this role.
He calls me Ruben, though.
Does he?
He called me Ruben.
I
don't care. Whatever. I don't care. So what are some of the greatest celebrations you have in this 10th year that you've been doing it? Like anything that you're able to share, right? That wouldn't jeopardize anything.
Well, it's all fun. Getting to celebrate when they clinch a playoff berth or clinch a playoff series. I think the one that stands out because it was the first one. I don't know if it was our first playoff series win, but it was Juan Uribe against the Atlanta Braves.
Okay.
And Juan Uribe hit a home run in the bottom of the 8th inning that gave the Dodgers the lead, and that was the series clincher.
Yeah.
And I just remember that was the first time I had stood out on the dugout at night with all the lights. The players were on the field, going crazy and celebrating. And just that perspective of looking around and seeing that, that was cool. And then what's nice, and you'll get this the more you get to know the players, is to be included in that. When the guys come up and give you a hug, and they're telling me congratulations. Like, well,
that was all you, buddy.
I didn't do much,
but you're behind the scenes praying for us, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Any challenges with you that you can share that just man, that's not something that I really don't look forward to?
Well, I think over the years, the hardest times when guys that you have built a relationship with get traded. That's the toughest because and I remember the first time it happened, there was two guys in particular that I really liked. One of the guys had come to Christ through baseball chapel, through our studies. And I was on the road with the team, and we had gone out after the game, and it was the first time that we had kind of gotten together one-on-one. Mm-hmm. And just had this great conversation, a couple hours, and we go up to our hotel rooms, and we're on the same floor. He was a couple doors down from me, and I get a text, maybe 30, 45 minutes later, that he got traded.
Oh, man.
And so the next morning, it was cool. We got to go pray with him, the next morning before he left, a few of the guys. And then on the flight home, on the same flight, was another player's wife, another solid believer. In fact, I'll mention his name because Josh Lindblom, who now just signed a 3-year deal with the Milwaukee Brewers. Okay. And Josh been pitching in Korea the last couple of years, and Josh is just really solid. In fact, I have no doubt. I think Josh will be a pastor when he finishes up. He's doing seminary online now. Oh, wow. Yeah. So nice. So I was flying home, and Ariel, his wife, was on the plane, and the rumors were swelling that he might get traded. And sure enough, I don't know. He might have gotten traded before that road trip ended. And he got traded to the Philadelphia Phillies, and I think Shane Victorino came to the Dodgers that year. But it's just those kinds of experiences that you don't think about necessarily as a fan, but when you have a personal relationship with somebody and all of a sudden they're gone, it's like...
Well, I felt it just with one of my guys, you know what I mean? Just we started connecting, it was dope, and I really looked forward to that time, and then I was like, oh, he got traded, man. I felt like it hurt a little bit, and I was like, oh man, well, hopefully if they play with each other, I'm able to go and lead them and reconnect with them again.
Yeah, when the Marlins come to town.
Yeah. So we'll see what's up with that. So what are your expectations for us here the next couple days? Because we're at spring training. We're in Phoenix right now.
Yeah, so the whole goal of this trip is just to come out and reconnect with guys that we worked with last year, and to meet new guys on the roster. And then we'll also go around walk around on the minor league fields, and just the minor league players, if you're affiliated with the big league club, you have a little bit of, street cred, with the guys.
A different kind of street cred, right?
Yeah. And so it's good to meet them. It gives us an opportunity to tell them about the chapels in their cities, wherever they'll be assigned. So it's really just a relationship building trip. hopefully you can put up with me for a couple days. But,
yeah, I'm already having fun already, bro. A little while ago, before we came, I was like, do I have to go back home?
Yeah.
And if my wife's watching, I'm just kidding, babe. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I'm really looking forward to getting to know the guys deeper, because last season it was just like, I got to be at my church by 12 noon, so it was like just back and forth, So I'm really looking forward to this time with no pressure, with no expectations, or time restraints or constraints, to just be able to get to know people.
And if you're a baseball fan, spring training's just fun, because you get to see the guys doing drills that they don't do during the season. And if whoever's listening, if you haven't been to spring training, you're a baseball fan, it's just a fun place to come watch baseball, because it almost feels like their practice fields, you feel like you're at a high school game, it's
and
just,
not at a big stadium.
Yeah, it's just a chain link fence, and you can stand right up on the fence and watch the guys do what they do.
Do they charge to enter those games?
They charge to go to a game, but they don't charge. You can just walk in to the practice fields.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's I think I was telling you earlier after dinner that one of my son's teachers in high school
just happens to get sick.
In Linwood High, she says I'm not going to mention her name, right? But if she's watching, she knows. She told her students straight out, like, hey, just every year at this time of year, like, I get sick, and me and my family we go away. And it's not because they're faithful fans that come out to spring training, where the kids are able to interact with the players more. It's more of an intimate feeling, like you said, than at the big old stadium,
Yeah, and I don't know how it'll be this year. I mean, it actually has been talked about with the whole coronavirus thing, but the guys are usually very generous in signing autographs or taking a picture with somebody.
Stuff,
but with this coronavirus, I don't know if they'll have to. I heard what some teams are doing is they're signing baseballs in the clubhouse and then just tossing the baseballs to fans rather than interacting, touching things. But
shout out to the homie Jack Berry in Tacoma, Washington. What's up, Jack? Is a good friend. This dude comes down here like just to hang out,
Come down here to Phoenix, or
I'm sorry. I think I'm in LA, to LA, to LA. He's at a church that used to be Mars Hill.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, at a church in Tacoma, Washington. Good, solid brother. Love him to death. We go back and forth on baptism a lot, just joking around and make fun. Right, Jack? Baptize your babies. But yeah,
don't do it, Jack.
He and I haven't gotten to that point yet. We haven't broken ice in our relationship yet, but we will eventually, right? What was I going to tell you? The coronavirus. How crazy is that? I mean, we can't have a podcast with all this stuff going on. Like, I just saw some friends earlier that at their church, they won't be doing communion.
Yeah.
They've suspended communion. And I sat there and I thought about it, like I just processed what must have happened to lead them to make that decision. And I was like, I don't think we'll do that. But this has gotten to be such a thing for a church to say, hey, we're going to suspend communion for the next whatever amount of time.
Well, and a lot of conversations out there are about even giving up actually gathering and going to a totally streaming or online service, because of the group dynamics and the interactions, which I'm not a medical expert, so I'm not giving any advice, but I don't think we're at that point where we live yet, where we have to do those things, but who knows? But
it gets scary. All this stuff started happening. I think of that movie Outbreak. Remember that movie Outbreak with that little white monkey?
Yeah.
Where just like you see it on the map, like start going all over the place. Jack said Luther's quote on the plague and ministering was good. What was the quote? It completely escapes my mind. Paul. That's right.
It's not just during Luther, but it's in the course of church history. The Christian response to plagues and to sickness has been one of the great witnesses of the church. That they were as families threw people out.
Yeah, they would pick them
and
up,
left them to die. The church is the ones who rallied around them and took care of them, even at the cost of their own lives sometimes. And that's the struggle in the West, and the church in the West. It's very comfortable and a lot of risk management and insurance decisions rather than maybe following Christ decisions.
Yeah. And that's not taking shots at anybody, right?
No, not at all.
Yeah. I didn't mean
this is a wisdom issue.
Just to make sure that nobody is like, oh, that was no pot shots at anybody.
No,
right?
not at all.
Paul Solorzano, he's a young adult at our church that I'm discipling. He said, #baptize your babies. Have you seen Luther? Have you seen Sproul's? I hate to say Sproul's new book that came out after he passed away. Truths We Confess. It's
no, but the fact that he wrote after death.
No, he didn't write it after. That's more impressive than anything. It's like an autographed copy of the Bible, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen those?
No.
Like an autographed copy. Who the heck autographed it? You know. But anyways, it was published after he died, and it's called Truths We Confess, which is a systematic exposition of the Westminster Confession of Faith.
Oh, okay.
So I'm taking Paul and a group of other young adults who are going through it. It's
good stuff.
Really good stuff. I got another group I do on Thursdays with the mixed group of guys in ministry leaders and pastors and future pastors. I'm taking them through Gerhardus Voss's Reformed Dogmatics.
Yeah, okay.
That's good, dude.
Yeah.
Dudes are pulling out a dictionary for every third or fourth word.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's really good.
That's not light reading.
Yeah, Jack said that the breakdown of it was that this virus is a judgment on our sin for not loving God and our neighbor.
Yeah, I wouldn't
agree.
We don't.
Yeah, I wouldn't believe that.
That's not our call to make.
Yeah. I'm sure there are many other reasons that he would have been used them a long time ago, but I hear what you're saying, Jack, and I know that's not you saying it. That's the breakdown. Cool. I want to be mindful of time because it is, what time is it over here? It's close to 10 o'clock already. Anything you'd like to share? Cash? His last name is Cash. His name is Brandon Cash, but I just call him Cash because everybody else
does
Cash,
too. Yeah.
So I want to make sure I feel like I'm one of the guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I just have looked for over the years different guys to do Spanish chapel.
Okay.
And have had different guys try, and it just never worked out. And I just remember the first time we met, sat down and had a cup of coffee, just connect with certain guys, and I just appreciate you and I'm thankful for you, and it's nice to have somebody that doesn't just speak Spanish but actually gets along well. Yeah.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. I'm really looking forward to this season. I'm really looking forward.
I didn't mean that like people who speak Spanish don't get along well.
No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. But I'm really looking forward to the season and sitting underneath your guidance and your mentorship, you know. Not just what you tell me, but just by watching you and observing you. You know what I mean? That's a big deal. So I'm really grateful for that. And I'm leaving here Saturday afternoon, and you're going to be here through...
Yeah, I'll do chapel on Sunday with the guys.
Okay.
And then I'll head home Sunday afternoon sometime.
Normal chapel that we normally do back home?
Yeah, what's different is, and I don't know if folks are interested, last year we went through Matthew's Gospel.
I remember that, yeah.
And so this year... we've divided all 26 weeks of the baseball season up into questions that Jesus asked.
Oh, okay.
So it's like 26 questions that Jesus asked, and each week we cover a different one.
I thought you were going to say something interesting, like we're going to do Revelation or something.
Yeah. And a little eschatology here and there, yeah. And so spring training's a little different in that these 4 or 5 weeks of spring training, we have a little more freedom in what we do. And so...
is there anything you've been thinking of doing?
Well, I did it 2 weeks ago. I did it, and I really honed in on I talked about flourishing. Okay. Like, what does it mean to flourish, and how our definition is whacked of what it means to flourish. Yeah. And just kind of talked about how, Jeremiah 17, the contrast between, it's almost like Psalm 1, the contrast between the shrub brush and the flourishing tree. Okay. And the whole difference is the little dry brush trusts in man as his strength, and the flourishing tree trusts in the Lord as his strength. And so that's what I talked about. Like, if you guys, we all want to flourish, but what does it mean to flourish is to trust the Lord. Yeah. And then, and so then this week, I'm going to talk about hero worship.
Hero worship? Ooh.
Yeah. Because I think...
Timely.
And I think there's two senses that, one, these guys feel the pressure, some of them, of having to live up to somebody else's...
expectations?
Yeah. But then I think some of them have also been disappointed by people they looked up to. And so I'm going to talk about that.
And I was asking you earlier about how this tragic, the tragedy with Kobe, how it's helped serve as a bridge to have some of these difficult conversations, you know? I was just in Mexico yesterday with my dad, who got deported about 10 years ago, with one of my homies, Yogi, who got deported many years ago. And I hadn't seen him in person since like 87 because of our past. I told you, it got crazy, and whoever's watching, they know me already. But yeah, the first time to be able to connect, and it was a great, I mean, at the expense of what happened, but to be able to have those difficult conversations and say, look, money, fame, like that doesn't mean anything. Yeah. Because one day we will stand before Christ, and we will have to give an account for every careless word and thing that we've done and said, and then what, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I spoke in chapel at Biola the Tuesday after the Sunday when he died.
Yeah.
And so I just knew I was going to have to
you couldn't
address it.
Yeah.
And what just kind of hit me was, I think had Kobe died 10 years ago, there's not anywhere near the same outpouring as there was today, because his second half was so much better than his first half.
Yeah.
You know, the way he responded to the adultery, the way he humbled himself, the way he became selfless later on in life. Yeah. And maybe the one word that sums it all up is he became humble.
Yeah.
And we just are attracted to humility.
And then there are those that are attracted to drama. And I had to unfriend some people and stop following because they started going off about Denver. You know, or Colorado. And it's like, seriously, dude, like, are you kidding me? And this person has done it before with other people. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, the dude hasn't even been burying you. You're already bringing up the smut from their past. Like, come on, man. This is a person who's a Reformed Christian that I used to respect. You know, and it's like, oh man, that's all bad, dude. Like, I get it, but it's like so untimely. You know,
and that's there's no defending what he did. But
the second half, humble. Like, there was a
and
change.
not just that. Even I'm trying to think of another athlete offhand who even at the press conference, the way he admitted culpability, like he didn't justify anything. It seemed like and I'm not a Laker fan, like I'm a Boston Celtic guy, but
hold on, we're about to have an interruption in this transmission real quick.
But I think that growth, that humility, it's just such a great object lesson for us that it's like, if you want to be an influencer, be humble.
Yeah, for sure. Lead with humility. So, Brandon, if anybody is in your neck of the woods, where should they go to church on Sunday? What time? What's the address?
Yeah, so ocfchurch.com is the website.
What is OCF?
OCF stands for Oceanside Christian Fellowship, which is the worst name for a church plant in El Segundo. We might as well be Sacramento Christian Fellowship. Because when people hear Oceanside, they think
Oceanside.
But what happened when church was planted in Manhattan Beach, there was this saying, there's no life east of Sepulveda.
Okay.
So our church was on the ocean side of Sepulveda.
Got you.
So that's, but anyway, ocfchurch.com. Our services on Sundays are 8, 9:30, and 11:15.
And what can they expect at your church? What type of church is your church?
It's so the way we like to talk about it is we are sort of culturally more liberal, not politically, but just the way the church. If you come in, people are in shorts and flip flops,
Before you start judging when he says the word liberal, relax.
Just meaning more relaxed. But so actually, you know Ryan Kwan, Ryan, the last time Ryan was down visiting, he goes, it's funny. He goes, it's just a very relaxed church. Yeah. But when you open the Bible, it feels like a Presbyterian church. And so
that's a compliment.
Yes. He just meant this seriousness with which we take the word. So I think we're a relaxed atmosphere, but a conservative and solid theology.
Awesome. And you guys have services at 8, 9:30,
and 11:15.
And 11:15. So you guys are anywhere in that neck of the woods. Make sure you guys stop by there and visit on Sunday. And you already know, if you're anywhere near Linwood, Compton, or Watts, stop by 3801 Cortlandt Street on the corner of Bullis. We have service at 12 noon. And Jack is saying, or just come up to the Pacific Northwest if you want liberal. Ha. But that's not your church, Jack, because I know you and you're solid, homie. All right? Other than that, this is Hood Grace Podcast.
You know that it's difficult to say?
What?
Because I'm not sure hood and grace are supposed to go together.
That's the enemy trying to trip me up. But there is grace to be experienced in the hood. And if Bernard is watching, my homie up in Oakland, it was his phrase.
I like it.
It was his hashtag. And when I wanted to start the podcast, I hit him up. I said, "Hey, can I use that? You know, because I'm about to make it famous. Yeah, just beat it. It's
gonna blow up.
Just no, I don't mean like because I'm such a big deal, but I'm just gonna beat it into people's heads like I do. Baptize your babies. I do that all the time. Like." Because I want people to think about there is grace to be experienced in the hood. Yeah. It may not be experienced in the same way, maybe in your neck of the woods, right? But nonetheless, we have to look for the grace that God gives us even in the hood.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. So, adios, Jesse and Compton. I'm going to see you at church on Sunday, right? But until then, this is Pastor Brandon Cash, Rev. Rudy Rubio of Oceanside Christian Fellowship, Reformed Church of Los Angeles and Linwood, coming live and direct from Phoenix, Arizona. Peace.
Peace.